Spiders! Ooh! Hooray! Letters! Dear KrisCan, what happens when oil reserves begin to decline and we haven't switched over to running the current state of affairs on alternative energies? Will we be turning to coal? And if so, what do you think the ramifications of that will be? Sincerely, Howard Simmons. Dear Mr. Simmons, this is a good question, considering that most people aren't thinking about what happens to us beyond fossil fuel depletion. The problem with our lack of foresight is that once we hit a wall regarding supply and demand, we haven't set up our system to run off of other energy sources like wind, solar, geothermal, or other alternatives already conceived. So this invariably leads us to coal, which is unfortunate because coal emits 25 to 50% more carbon dioxide per energy unit than petroleum. And we don't want that. No. I mean, our environment is already stretched to its limits. Doubling the carbon dioxide emissions rate could spell catastrophe to our precious little planet. Ah, but you say, what shall we do about this? My suggestion, being that I am not an engineer or a scientist or a petrochemical specialist, is to keep reading books. Books that offer solutions and encourage knowledge of practical skills. Keep talking to your friends, keep talking to your neighbors. Set up a local group to discuss how we might be able to pull together and figure something out. I mean, instead of each one of us sitting at home trying to mastermind this huge debacle, let's put many minds together and see what we can come up with. And yes, my friend, conservation. Conservation is key. Conservation of fossil fuels right now is going to be key to buying us time to rethink and implement sustainable or regenerative energy sources. Anyway, thanks for that question. Cheers. Hooray! I got another letter. Hooray! Dear KrisCan, hi, love the show. Thanks. Wondering what you think about hybrid cars and all these new technologies and investments to build and create the next vehicle to keep us motoring at the same rate after we've exhausted our petroleum pension. Well put. Thanks, Sarah Bartlett. Tricky, complicated. There seems to be two parts to address in that question. Do we like the way we are living so much now that we are compelled to keep it operating at the same level? In no way should I answer this, but I invite you to respond. The hybrid vehicle. On one hand, why wouldn't using less gasoline be better? Better for the environment, better as a conservation device, better on the wallet. But is that better the best we can do? If we continue using our own personal vehicles at the same rate, then we need the infrastructure to support that transportation. The resources that we currently use to set this infrastructure in place is mostly concrete and steel. Both are energy-intensive products with a huge amount of embodied energy. The concrete industry is the largest user of natural resources in the world, with water usage being only one component. 1 billion tons of it. 1 billion tons of it is used yearly to produce concrete. Pouring of raw materials for concrete results in habitat loss, soil erosion, pollutant runoff. Huge amounts of other materials are used in concrete construction, such as wood, steel, aluminum, and plastics. For every ton of concrete produced, 1 ton of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. We need to rethink a lot of how we produce things, not just about the quantity of gasoline we use for transportation, but Thank you for that question. Thanks to all of you who've written to the KrisCan Show. Rock.